book update. Today was hot. It was hot, boy. Super hot. So hot, in fact, that I decided this morning that I was not going to. There's a deer over there. Anyways, I decided I wasn't going to write this during the day because it was so hot I couldn't stand sitting at a desk and writing. That's why I decided I'm just going to write later tonight when it gets dark out and much cooler. Hello. You probably can't see that, but hello. Oh, you're gorgeous. Anyways, so that's what I just did. I just finished writing, and man, let me tell you, it's getting really exciting. I don't know if it's the story that's necessarily getting exciting, but I'm enjoying writing a whole lot more than I was in the past, than I was a few days ago. I'm enjoying the story now. Where in the beginning, after writing that first paragraph, I was like, I don't really know where I'm going to take this. Now I'm at a point where I'm sort of excited, even if I don't necessarily know where I'm going to take it. I'm excited for that experiment. You know, when I started writing this, the way that I'm writing, I don't really have an outline. I don't have that ELA format, you know, the graph with the triangle. I might have talked about it in a previous video. But I sort of went into this with sort of a basic grasp of the story and the elements of the story and what I wanted to include, what I wanted to talk about, certain events that were going to take place in the story that were going to happen, and characters and you know, the basic stuff that you need to write a story. I knew all of that already in my head as I've been developing it over the past few months. And so going into it, I had a clear goal. I had a direction. I have, you know, certain points within the story, certain places that the story needs to go, certain things that need to happen. And so that's what's guiding me along the way. But how I get there, that is the you know, that part is very ambiguous. And that's been really exciting, actually. Some days it's really hard. Some days I'm not sure what I'm writing, what's even going on. And then other days, like today, where the words just sort of flowed out of me. And I was excited to keep writing. I was excited to keep going. And I got to a certain point in the story where I thought, let's stop it now, because I have all this energy to keep going. And then when I get back to the table tomorrow, hopefully I can call on that same energy and excitement and what I want to say and draw on that energy to have the same experience that I had today writing, which was very, very enjoying. You know, it's one of those days where you're like, you know what, writing isn't so bad. It's kind of fun. This is kind of fun. And so, and another part of that, what made that so exciting, was also the sort of just acceptance or realization that what I'm making right now, what I'm writing right now, nobody has to see. And therefore, I can allow it to be, there's the temple. It's bright. Anyways, I can allow it, I'm so tired. There I am. I can allow it to be anything. And that has been what's happening. I'm pretty sure these last few pages, I've just been rambling on about just, I don't know, maybe talking about the same thing for the past 7 pages. And I'm sure if I were to go back and read all of this, read all the last few pages I've been writing in this week, it would be terrible, which is fine, because I'm not worried about the structure. I'm not worried about, you know, the novel at the moment. I'm worried about the page. I'm worried about what's happening now and how can I keep this momentum to project myself forwards and keep building the story. And then once I have a draft, a first draft, a finished draft, then I can go back and try and figure out what the heck I was talking about and try to make sense of all of this stuff. Because right now it just sounds like a madman's scribblings in a notebook you weren't meant to find. And that has been it's just been a joy. At least today it was a joy. It lifts, there's a weight. Whenever you want to do something, there's a sort of self-expectation that you put on yourself, that you want this thing to be good. And maybe some people want it to be, they believe they want it to be excellent because that's their standard. They look up to all of these great artists and they see, well, they're good. So if I'm going to create anything, then it has to be good. And so they get lost. At least this has been my personal experience in creating. I got sort of lost in that expectation, that self-expectation that I had of myself, of what kind of an artist I wanted to be, how I wanted my work to be perceived. If I wanted it to be perceived at all, which is something I struggle with also, but today, and hopefully in the upcoming days, I didn't think about that at all. There was no pressure to be anything. The only thought that I had in writing was getting the words on the page, was filling another page. And I did that. I filled multiple pages today. And I'm so proud of that fact, and I'm so excited that I did that and that I get to do that tomorrow. It's exciting. It's finally exciting to work, to put in the effort, which is, I've like reached this sort of ecstasy with this novel, which I know isn't going to last. There's certainly going to be times where I'm dreading writing, but at the moment, today was a great day, and writing was such a pleasure, especially with the heat. Even right now, I'm walking around at night and it's still warm out, still pretty warm out. But I'm not so much happy that I wrote today for the sake of writing, but I'm happy that I wrote today because writing was such a joy. And I'm just even more excited for this journey, to continue writing, for this to finally become a thing. To finally, to not only to just make the first draft, but to edit it and revise it and shape it into something worth sharing if I ever do. That thought is a beautiful thing, but also the action has been such a pleasure. And that's the energy that I'm feeding off of right now. And it's a beautiful night out. Stars are out, there's deer all over. It's quiet. Yeah, life is good, except for this damn heat. Anyways, that's the book summary for today. Good night.